Hey there, it's your MC operator here. And today we're going to have some Jack Bauer fun. Yes, I am a 24 fan. I own every season. Jack Bauer is just the man. Um, and actually, I remember I didn't even appreciate Jack until one time I was talking to my mom on the phone, and it was Super Bowl time, so in my mind, we're talking football. And as we're talking about the football, game and getting started, she's like, "Well, I'm really mostly excited for Jack." And I'm like, "Jack? Who's Jack?" She's like, "Jack Bauer." And I'm like, "Okay, mom, who's Jack Bauer?" And she's like, "You don't watch 24?" And I'm like, "No, mom, I don't watch 24." Well, my mom never refers to any character in a show by first name, so at that point I had to go do some recon, and the rest is 24 history. So I won't take you through the whole journey for my love for Jack, but that's kind of how it started. But anyway, we have a friend of the channel who has loaned us some firearms, and he and I share the love for HK, and so did Jack. So today we're going to pay a little homage to 24 and talk about a couple of firearms he used in a couple of seasons. Actually, Jack is kind of funny because he's used several of the firearms that I really love. One season he's used the Beretta 92, and obviously he's used a couple different HKs. So we have a couple here that actually play right into that. So without further ado, I'm going to show you a couple of the HKs we're working with today. One is going to be the kind of like, well, I guess flagship. Would be a great way to describe it, which is the HK USP. Um, Absolute duty firearm. Both of these firearms that we're talking about today are chambered in 9 millimeter, or as the Germans would say, 9 by 19 parabellum. But the USP is truly a duty firearm. I mean, it's big. It's over engineered as all HK products are, but that's actually a big benefit for us because they're going to last a very long time. And the USP, not my favorite HK, only because of the fact that it's just doesn't fit my hand very well. It's just a very big and wide grip from front to back, so it doesn't really fit 100% well in my hand. The P2000, which is going to be the second firearm we're going to talk about, is just the opposite. It fits my hand like a glove. They are extremely comfortable. They also have removable back straps so that you can adjust for various size hands. I would stick to either the small back strap or maybe the medium at the outside. But if you have a larger hand, obviously you might want the large backstrap on there to fill it up a little bit better. Um, but they also came out with the P2000 SK, which I've owned that personally. I wound up actually repurposing that vehicle. Sorry, I'm going back to my old my old career as in the rental car business. Um, I repurposed that firearm, mostly because of the fact that there wasn't a real good amount of real estate to have milled for a red dot. So, but I do miss that firearm because it felt great. It was always reliable. It was a true shooter, but I wound up having an opportunity to go to the VP9 SK. So obviously, and you guys have seen that on the channel before. There's countless representation of that firearm in videos. But with that being said, let's talk about these, and I'm gonna go and show clear on them so that we know we're dealing with safe firearms. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Big Daddy, which is the USP, and so we're gonna go ahead and both of these firearms have the European powder release, so it makes it just organically ambidextrous. So if you are right or left-handed, you'll be able to operate these firearms. Now, this one, on the other hand, does not have the controls up here on the right side, so but I'm sure things can be swapped back and forth. But when we get to the P2000, that is actually completely ambidextrous. But anyway, so we're going to drop the magazine here, and again, we're going to use the European style release. Now, again, I've talked about this before. Depending on your preference, I can't reach it with my thumb, but I can reach it with either my trigger finger or my middle finger. My choice, so I can keep my finger in the safe area, I use my middle finger, and so I just kind of drop that right there. So I'm going to show that there's nothing in the magazine. We're going to rack this a couple times because now we show that there's nothing in the chamber. And this firearm has a safety and a decocker. So you would just go ahead and decock it. And if you chose to be super safe, you can also engage the safety. To me, that's overkill on safety, but your preference. So with the decocker, it does take it to a very long trigger pull, and so there's a little bit of travel, and then but the brake is pretty heavy. So to me, that's all the safety you really need, because it gives you plenty of time to adjust if you choose to decide not to deploy that round downrange. So let me show that one more time. So we're going to decock it. So we are now in the decocked area. So again, there's just a little bit of travel, and then the trigger pull is pretty heavy, but positive, and pretty smooth too. So not bad at all. All right, now let's look at the P2000. Okay, so this one is actually OD green, so that's kind of nice. Let's see if I can get this focus here. So nice color, so it's a nice two-tone, and the other one is two-toned as well, Cody brown, but this one is decocker only, which is right there. So you would just, so what we're gonna do though, we're gonna go ahead and use the same European release, and as I said before, this firearm, as you can see, is organically completely ambidextrous. So we have all your operating tools on either side. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and drop the magazine. And so now we can show clear. And we'll go ahead and rack it a couple times. Awesome. So we'll reinsert the magazine. And again, you can see right here is the decocker. So we've now decocked it. So let's see how the trigger pull on this one is. Okay, so actually even shorter amount of travel. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and it seems to be slightly lighter than the USP, but still a good heavy trigger pull. And then both of them have really nice. So we'll go. Let's see. Come on, baby. Focus, focus. There you go. Okay, so single action. Okay, so you can see there's travel, obviously. And then positive brake. Firearm will cycle. And then kind of a long reset, but not bad. And then just a little bit more take up. And then brake. Really, I love HKs. Really fabulous machinery. And let's show you the. Okay, so we'll show you the single action on the USP. Okay. So now we have a little bit of travel. Okay, and then nice easy brake. And so now we have reset, very short, a little bit of travel, brake. HKs are amazing. And if you never got hip to Jack Bauer, you gotta watch him. He's awesome. It's awesome. But so now, like I said, the HK USP is definitely quite utilized duty firearm all across the world. Not so much here in our country, but a lot of our military at one point had them in their rotation. Some of our elite forces utilized the USPs just for their durability and and very decent round count. And the P2000 again is just an amazing firearm. It's to me a perfect size. And they do have rails, but they're not Picatinny rails. They're more of HK sort of proprietary rail. But you still can get things on there, but they're obviously not the normal Picatinny rail that most people are used to. But you still can find things that will operate and work there. And of course, HK has things that you can also purchase from them that are proprietary to their firearm. So that's not a problem either. This one has a nice little pinky lift right there, and so your hand fits really nice and stays nice and secure. There's a little bit of gnarling on the front strap. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Hello. Okay, so you have a nice texture on the front strap, and then you also have nice texturing on the back strap. And of course, the sides are a little slick. But again, with now the ability to have certain things stippled, obviously you could have those, stippling done, and it'll be just as fabulous as any sort of Glock that you have stippled. So that's also an option as well. And now this seems to have a fair amount of real estate, so I could probably put a red dot on this one. But of course, now that we have the plates, like for the 1911s and such, it's pretty easy to grab those as well and apply that to your firearm, and they can mill it and for whatever your plate of choice is. So right now most machinery companies have made adjustments for most firearms, and what's nice about it also too is these companies who are manufacturing the RDOs, the red dots, are understanding the fact that with the insurgence of so many small size firearms, they all have now their own iteration of kind of tiny RDOs, so that they can fit the 1911s without milling, or I'm sorry, without a plate. Also to like the Sig Sauer 365 or the Springfield Hellcat and those kind of things. A lot of those are actually coming red dot ready. And so, but with that being said, there's a lot of companies that are just kind of matching certain footprints, so that you can have your RDO of choice on your small carry guns as well, because the red dot wave is here to stay, and it's only going to get more prominent and more impressive. And once you learn how to acquire your red dot, it's kind of hard to go back to traditional sights. And even the most staunch advocates for the old school red dots. I'm sorry, traditional sight system. They're even moving to the red dot. It's not just about the old eyes. It's really about faster acquisition and, more importantly, the ability to have both eyes open so that you can keep your peripherals, in play. You can stay threat focused with the red dot, and so there's so many advantages. And now it's not going to make you immediately quicker on your acquisition, because there is a learning curve. I myself, as an instructor, it's interesting. I kind of take my students through the red dot first, because it's easier to for them to sort of get things on plane, and it's actually easier to go backwards to traditional sights after learning the red dot. So, and also too, I'm just a huge advocate of red dots. So when I expose them to that, they can kind of go, oh, okay, awesome, and then they can make the decision from there whether they buy in or continue down the road with the traditional sights, which of course, is obviously personal preference going forward. But I am an advocate of red dot use, just for a plethora of reasons. So, but that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, I appreciate you taking this journey with me down Jack Bauer Lane, and of course utilizing the HK P2000 and the HK USP to help us on our Jack Bauer journey. But with that being said, it's your MC operator signing off. Have an amazing day. Take care now.